Thanks for coming. Labor Day Monday. Happy holiday. Game Thursday night on the road. It was good to get a win, of course. Had to deal with some travel issues going down with the flight. It was jacked up a couple, 3-4 hours, and had to adjust our schedule. Night game, weather, thought we handled it well. I was going through the stoppages. We didn't have one stoppage of IU player for cramping or heat-related deal. There were several by the opponents. I thought we handled the heat awesome. I just was impressed with the first game. New coaches, new players, new quarterback, new defensive guys. They handled a lot of things reasonably well, and that was pretty. Playing a Thursday night game, school week, traveling, during the school week, and just a lot of things a little bit unusual. Players we thought we did well. Got a lot of things to improve on. A lot of things got to get a lot better in all phases. Offense, we thought we had two guys play really strong that we gave winning performances to. Danny Friend, who had 7 knockdowns, 2 catches, and a touchdown at tight end. The other one was Mike Majette, who had about 100 yards of total offense. Our one running back did well, but he had a fumble, which needs to be eliminated, and Divine, and that's got to stop. Westbrook had some stats we liked, but needs to be more physical. Same at receiver. Quarterback was good, no critical errors, but a couple times just in decision-making which side of the ball he should be reading. He's got to pick that up. Our offensive line played very, very, very hard, but wasn't as clean as it needs to be. And quite honestly, for what we prepared against, what we thought we were going to get, and what we got, we probably got 1 out of 10 right at preparation. I mean, they were in a different front, different coverage looks, so we had to make a lot of adjustments. I thought that was, of course, we have 4 fifth-year senior linemen and several returning starters, and Danny's a 4th-year kid, and the running backs got some experience. So they handled a lot of adjustments really, really, really well. But from what we thought we would get and what we got, so a great job of adjustments. Thought the effort was good. Offensively, again, we thought, adjusting to some things we didn't anticipate. We did well. We finished the first half where we had a chance to maybe punt again, backed up, and we got out of that pretty good. I think the fourth quarter was a strong finish. I thought our effort was very, very good. I thought we played reasonably physical, and those are some things to build on. We didn't like 3 times we had the ball on the ground. 1 time we lost it. We had 4 offensive line penalties. We gave up 2 sacks, 1 on a tailback and 1 on a receiver got knocked down. A quarterback got stuck. We also had way too many yards, crossing the 50-yard line 12 times with 2 touchdowns, so we got to clean that up. Defensively, Patrick Doherty had a championship performance as D tackle in his first start, rated 88%. 6 of our 11 defensive players, D-line players, was their first performance ever. So you got 6 first-timers up front, rotating a lot of guys in there between some of those, whether it be Sykes and Brandon Wilson and a lot of those guys. So it was good to see those guys. We had Jameers Bowen in there. A lot of guys getting first-time work, did well. On the outside, on the edge, we thought Amari Stringer had a lot of good effort, only 24 plays, but showed up. Now Sykes made some plays, but he had a couple lazy plays that he needs to eliminate. But he did make some plays. Those 2 guys made some plays, but we need them to be more consistent. 2 linebackers played solid. Marcus Oliver, who had 8 total tackles, 4 assisted, 4 unassisted. He had a pass breakup, 2 strips. He was 8 of 10 point of attack, making the play. And T. Gray Scale, 6 tackles with 1 assist, 7 total. I had a quarterback hurry, interception. Both those guys played well. Crawford at safety was very good. Made 6 of 8 opportunity plays, 7 tackles. Tony Fields, 3 for 3 in opportunity plays, and Tony Fields makes a point-saving play with the first drive with a deflection on the ball to the tight end. That's basically a 4-point play because if he makes the catch at 7, we hold them to a field goal. It's always a big play. That was a point play in a close game. No one at corner. We gave up a couple deep balls. Got to eliminate. We were impressed with Ashawn Riggins, who had 38 snaps as a true freshman playing corner and was very, very good, especially in the fourth quarter. Very, very good. Same deal with Marcelino Ball as a freshman. I'd say played 2. We showed the team last night played 2 that he got a look he wasn't ready for, and he was out of position and got exposed. And the next play, totally smashed the blocker and made a great tackle on a bubble. Just great response to the next play. So really like the way those 2 freshman kids play for us, Ashawn and Marcelino Ball. What we thought was good about the defense, we had them pinned down a couple times, and we kept that field position. Got a safety 1 time. We finished both halves defensively pretty good, not allowing points to get away or closing out the game in the fourth quarter. We had 16 points of scoring defense. We had 6 3-and-outs. The bad, we had 4 big plays. We had a face mask penalty that led to points. We had a penalty on the sideline, which led to an easy kickoff, which led to points. So two penalties that we felt made it a lot easier for our opponent to score. We had too many missed assignments, too many missed tackles. I believe when Coach Allen, when you visit with him, he'll talk about that we played hard, but we got a lot of correctable things that need to get fixed. And so to think we figured some things out, we just played harder, we played better. We need to be a lot better on both sides of the ball, offense and scoring, and defense eliminating some MAs and tackles. I thought Gideon, our punter, did pretty well. 1 inside the 1, which led to points, 3 inside the 20. He did have a 51-yarder in the last punt. He got off very quickly when we knew they were coming at it. Thought he handled his first game, Joseph Gideon, our punter. Our kick coverage was solid. Punt return, really didn't have an opportunity. Kickoff return was solid. We got to tighten some things up. Our field goal team was bad. Wing broke down, got exposed, had an issue on a hold. That was a disappointing team, and that thing's got to get cleaned up. Players of the game: Danny Friend on offense, T. Gray Scales on defense, Joseph Gideon on special teams. Those 3 guys are the players of the game: offense, defense, and special team. Danny Friend, T. Gray Scales, and Joseph Gideon. Scout players of the week: Peyton Ramsey. Quarterback's going to be awesome. Did a great job last week managing the Scout O. And he's had a shoulder injury. He's been out of a lot of the work, kind of getting back into it. Andre Brown was our Scout team defensive player of the week. He's been out most of the preseason. Got a lot of work there. It was good to see. So again, that's it. This week, Ball State coming in. Won their first game the other night against Georgia State. They won 31-21. Took a knee the last play of the game on the 1-yard line. There's 38. Had it 4th and 1. Didn't score on the 1-yard line. There's 45. Outrushed their opponent 325-70. Totally dominated the game. Started a little sloppy. Had some turnovers both ways. Fell behind on the pick 6. Their quarterback, Riley Neal, had a lot of stats and played as a freshman a year ago. Managed the game very, very well. 2 running backs, one with 166, James Gilbert out of Arsenal Tech, and the other running back at 93. Riley had 46, 48 yards at quarterback. They're very impressive for first game, first coach, first game for that staff. Defensively, very, very aggressive. Like I say, held the opponent. The leading rusher for the opponent the other night was quarterback scrambling. And he was running for his life, but he made a couple plays scrambling. So they played very, very well. Punter for 47 yards. They got their kickers back. So very, very impressed. They played a Friday night game. It's 4 o'clock kick here. I know it's a big game for them. It's going to be a big game for us. But again, was very impressed with the way they played. That was a strong win in their opener. And I know they'll come in excited and expecting another good win. We expect it, and I expect our guys to get better and have a better week. We got a lot of work to do. Questions?
Let's talk about the most improvement is made between week 1 and week 2. Do you feel like that's true? And if so, what are areas that you're hoping to improve on this week?
Everybody says that. So I guess that means that, you never coach until after the first game. But the real deal is the kids sometimes, I always say about freshmen when they played, it was easier to coach them after they played because they truly got exposed. So you're not strong enough to get in the weight room. You don't have enough knowledge or plan for whatever. So I think the real thing for kids is once you get out there, you do all the game situations, clock managements, all the down and distances, you do as much as you can to make it like a game. But until you're out there standing by yourself, and we talk about that trust factor, that 2x4, those risks are greater. And when risks get greater, your mind gets in the way, doubt, fear, a lot of things you got to conquer as an athlete. So that being said, hopefully the team, we're trying really, really hard to push these kids and coach them hard this week. There's a lot of improvement that can be made, needs to be made. That was one of the great things about playing a Thursday night game. We were able to now we didn't get back till late, but we were able to take Friday as a recovery day. We took Saturday and just looked hard at us. And the game had a good lift, had a good recovery. Because a lot of times you look at you quickly and get on to the next game. And like today being Monday, we kind of had Saturday and Sunday with the long travel to reflect on us, look at us, clean up some things, and move to Ball State. So, and even if we do make the most strides from week 1 to week 2, the really good teams just keep getting better every week. And so we're pushing the team hard this week. I think a lot of those game situations, we have and we will show whether it be going through the Western Michigan kid who had a ball at the end zone and tried to throw it back in. The Houston field goal return for 109 yards against Oklahoma. You keep showing a lot of football so kids learn football. So you try to put them in all the game situations. I think what you're saying, Terry, is that once those guys get on the field, I think they listen to you a little bit more, or they realize. And hopefully we do need to make a lot of strides. Defensively, too many MAs, offense, play calling, and execution in the scoring zone, a lot of things that got to get a lot better. Tighten up ball security, field goal team. We got a lot to clean up. And not only this week, but as we go forward.
How encouraging is it? I guess you mentioned a lot of young guys, especially on the defense, secondary, and the line. I mean, was it encouraging to see guys who maybe hadn't played a lot or were making their debuts adjust the way they did in that environment?
It was really good. Like I say, 6 of those 11 D linemen. You got Corey Cronk out there as a freshman offensive lineman, seeing some new things. We had an injury to Jordan Fuchs. All of a sudden, we had Brandon Knight was playing some tight end, or it got Austin Doris in his first work out there. So you had Isaac James getting some of his first work. Luke Timian's played some, but got more. Nick Westbrook was a go-to guy. So there was a lot of guys that stepped up, and that was good to see. Because, again, we think we got more depth, but we got a lot of – we need more of our front line guys this week. Defensively, I think our coaches would tell you that a lot of Amari Stringer and some of those guys that came in, now Sykes, some of those guys had some production. We need some more production out of our ones. But it was good to see those guys come in and play well.
Coach, Ball State, as you alluded to, ran the ball well, 325. You guys shut down FIU, holding them under 70. Is there something you want to see more of? Only 2 tackles for loss on Thursday. Is there something more push up front that you could get?
And again, when you're pressuring to get their penetration at the line of scrimmage, when you're saying push and getting north and south as a defense is setting edges and keeping things. The thing about Ball State a little bit is they've only got 1 game with the new staff, and they attacked Georgia State a certain way. How much of their offense have you seen yet? So our defense this week will be insane offensively. We saw a lot of things against Georgia State, but you can get some different looks this week. So these first couple games are always a little bit hard, a little cat and mouse. How much have you showed, not showed? What are you going to? So our ability last week to handle some adversity, to be behind, to have some things not go really good during the week, I thought our kids handled that well. We'll need that again this week because, again, I don't know with ball coming in. I was impressed with what I saw. I don't know if we've seen all of what they are yet because I'm sure as they develop, there's more to their offense, defense kicking that's coming. And I know Coach New's going to be very aggressive in their approach as they come down here. So the ability to, you're talking about penetration or push, but when you're getting new looks and you got to think, do you get that? And so that'll be interesting this week as, like I said, I thought our offense last week got a lot of different looks and adjusted and still played pretty hard. It'll be interesting this week. I think the same thing, dynamic, has a chance to appear to some degree, and I think that's just college football. Each week you're getting your ability to handle success and failure and your ability to adjust and be adaptable is key. Now, we live with kids that are waiting for the new iPhones, and things change so fast that I think kids are used to change. And where I think old people, we're used to habitual things and do it this way and do it over and over and over. I think our kids like change. So our team seems to have the ability to be adaptable. I think that's the quality of a good team. That was encouraging the other night, and I think we'll have to do that this week and still get the penetration, the push you're talking about, and try to minimize the run game.
So you guys got to grade it out, just kind of reviewing back through it with him. What did you like out of Rich's first performance, and where does he need to clean up?
I thought it was pretty good. Those are better numbers than Suffield had against that team last year. You guys got Google, right? You can Google stuff up, right? Just hit 15 season stats. It says recap. Pulls it up. First game, no turnovers. Sometimes I think communication could be better. Had a couple communication issues with center quarterback, snaps, voice inflection, command presence, ability to, hey, we're ready, let's go ahead and attack. Whereas sometimes I think he was being a little reactionary, but he had a few times he got bluffed and went the wrong way, and some windows got tight. But he was 18 to 27, so that's 67%. He threw for 240, and it was good. It can be a lot better, but it was good. He's really working really hard on his footwork. He's got a long way to go, but I thought for a first-time starter, I mean, look where his numbers compare in the league after one game. And what's neat is, we got to stand on offense. Everybody was kind of like it wasn't very good, and I'm like, okay, I like that, because that means we're starting at a point that people expect more of our team, and that's good, because I expect more out of him, and he knows that. So I thought it was a good start, something to build on.
What did you learn about him in that game that maybe you didn't know going in?
No, I mean, you just didn't know he'd handle it. I mean, he's always been kind of calm. He didn't to get rattled. But he's been that way since he's been here. But you get in games, he just had a nice look in his eye. Didn't seem different than he seemed any other day he's been in practice. He just seemed like him. Didn't make the game bigger than it was, because sometimes you can do it. So it was. He acted like he had acted. He'd been what you saw, he went through preseason. I think he completed 67% of his balls and was on target 75% of the time. That's what he was the other night. That's kind of how he's been playing. And he can get better. The deal with him is just knowledge of what's going on, how to think fast. And really, as a big man like Nate, it's just getting your feet underneath you. Because as you move, sometimes his footwork can get lazy. As he tightens his feet up and gets a base and gets his feet underneath his shoulders, he throws really good balls.
Where has he maybe grown the most since maybe the first month of last season?
He's regressing. He had the ball on the ground. Just had it on the ground again today. So y'all going to talk about he's got 100-yard games four times in a row. It's getting ready not to happen next time he puts it on the ground, because we got about 9 guys there. So he's getting ready to start seeing the bench, because there's a standard of quarterback play. There's a standard of taking care of the ball, and he's going to clean that up. And his coach will get him right. And he's doing good, but he it's ain't about stats. It's about winning football games, and taking care of the football is big for us. So he knows that. He had a little glitch the other night, and it wasn't an accident. And so he's working hard to clean that up.
Coach, you said something about Kenny about a week ago not being physically as good as he could be from an injury standpoint, yet he was in the game.
Yeah, he's had a knee bruise. Can put a little Kramer Jezik atomic bomb on it, taped it up, went out and played. He had a bruise, an old school bruise. It wasn't like a MCE grade, whatever, fancy. He just had a bruise, went out and played a little football. It was good. He was good on kicking game. He made a couple plays, made a couple nice catches. Because we didn't know if he was playing until Wednesday. But he did good, and that was good. And again, I say he's a kid that breaks my heart, because that's one more kid I needed a scholarship for. Because he is a nice, valuable part of our team. And it was good. I think it shows how much he wanted to play, because he pushed himself in rehab through last weekend and Monday, Tuesday to get ready to play. And we needed him. We needed him. He did well. And he made a commitment to get himself right. And when called upon, he answered the call, and that was really good to see, because our team needed him the other night.
You have a new quarterback. Do you enjoy the teaching aspect that maybe you didn't have with Nate, because you have no experience, you didn't have to maybe teach as much? But in this case, the teaching aspect, is that something you really enjoy?
Oh, I don't know. We're just always watching, every time we're just watching, we're just talking about, we're playing the game. And until you get out there, you don't know what you got. Hey, you're taking on a scramble, now you're getting down here. Hey, which way's rotation? Where are you going? Hey, do you see the blitz? Are you hot? So we're always, whether it be Nate last year, and we're scheming up, but there's so much time we're watching plays. I'm like, okay, where are we at? What am I thinking? What are you thinking? What do you see right here? Where should this thing go? What's the next play? What do you like? And we're just always talking, trying to get them in sync with the way myself and Coach Johns and the conversations were happening, because we don't have the earpiece like they have in the NFL. So we're constantly just throwing thoughts at them, trying to get them in sync with what we're thinking. Hey, the ball's here. What do you think? We call this play on third down. What do you think we're thinking here? Why? Maybe we called a play you didn't like. Your body language, your voice inflection affects what's going on. You might be disappointed because you wanted something, but here's what we're thinking, because here's the next play. Here's how we see it, and you can't predict how everything's going to go, but you're playing down in distances and field zones and 4-down territory. When you're backed up, I thought we handled the first half really good. Years ago, we'd have punted that ball down there. We'd have punted again with a minute. We'd have messed something up. We'd have punted. And maybe something good wouldn't happen. We eliminated a possession right there. Well, those are things we're always talking to quarterbacks about. Understand why we're trying to, slow the clock down. So I don't know whether you say you enjoy it, but I don't coach quarterback fundamentals. I coach footwork, what are you seeing? What are you thinking? This is what I'm thinking. What do you see? Why are you waiting for them to get set? I want you to snap it now and throw it right here. Why didn't you throw that bubble? We called the bubble. Did you see that bubble? Why didn't you throw that bubble? That bubble's out there. Make them defend it. I mean, why didn't you throw the bubble? I mean, we called it. You can hand it. You can throw it. I mean, so we're just trying to get them to have the energy that we have in calling the game and think like us. And I was doing that with Nate through the bowl game. Boom, what you want next? Okay, first down, what you want? We got run bubble. What do you think? I mean, we're just constantly talking out loud. We're playing the game. And I encourage my guys, like tonight, there'll be a great game on TV tonight. Just don't, what's the next play for you? What play do you want next? Like we had Richard, what play do you want next? Like I would ask Nate, okay, third down, I got this one or this one. Which one you want? I want this. Okay, that's what we're doing. So that's why I asked the quarterback, which plays do you like? Because we got a bunch of plays, but what are you confident in? Wasn't to minimize what we're doing. It's what do you feel good about? And so that to me that's a huge part. The quarterback has to be the greatest extension of me and the offensive coach. And that's just a part of what I enjoy. That's just a part of what we do. And I tell you, Coach Allen will tell you when he comes up here, the Mike linebacker's got to be the same dude. Because if the Mike linebacker and the quarterback ain't on the same page with the guy calling the play and what they're doing, ain't real good. Anything else?
Physical play itself, is this as good as you've seen Indiana offensively and defensively since you've been here as far as
No.
game one?
Well, first game. But we've gotten, I think you build your physical stuff, it goes. You pull it up, we're 10th in the conference in defense right now. Pull up stats, you got stats, there's 14 teams, we're sitting on 10. Okay? And so, they played hard. But I think you build your physicalness as you go through you start, without overhitting, you just gain more confidence, you play faster, you have more trust, and I just think you keep snowballing. It was a good start, but it's a long way from what we'll need this week, because Ball State physically got after Georgia State. Physically got after them. And then we'll have a little rest, and here comes 10 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? We got 9 conference games this year. The Big Ten is sitting at 12-2 right now. You know what I'm saying? That first week we go to 9, we'll all be 7-7. Right now the Big Ten's 12-2. And so, but it was a good start, and it's encouraging, but without overhitting, we're going to push these guys. Do you have some, Terry?
What did you like most out of what Danny Friend was able to do the other night?
I thought his injury last year was a little bit more significant than people thought. Just because he's a big guy, solid, he's steady, not a flashy guy. So sometimes at tight end, you get a few catches and you think, well, that's a great tight end. But, the tight end's at the point of attack or backside reach blocking, which is a critical almost, and we use him a lot in protection. And so him coming back, his catch was nice, but he was as physical as any offensive lineman, which to me, when Don's talking about being a physical football team, the tight ends are a big part of that. And when you watch the Ball State team this week, that's a big part of Ball State's package. Their tight ends are a big part of what they do. He'll have a surgery. It's a dislocation. Once they I think he's doing it Tuesday, tomorrow. Just saw him. And then from that, we'll get a feel for timeline. It's going to be a significant timeline, but does it go through the season? If it does, he's got a redshirt year. You just kind of see how it plays out. And we'll keep bringing Ian Thomas and Ryan Watercutter, Austin Doris, and the big guys. Everything else.